Tangan, mukha. Kayong balay, mukha. Pinapit. Even our lives belong to you, God. So today, we want to give you thanks. Lord, sa kanyang mga butang, ang unaawag na sa kanyang butang, doon mo, ikaw, ibalik na sa mga pasalamat, Lord God.
Well, it's kind of fitting that I start the video here at the road where we planted our first bit of concrete, which was the pins for our property line. And in that process of putting those pins in, we had the discussion with the barangay captain that we do consider this section of road donated, and that any further land that they may need needs to come from the other property owners. Anyway, he was very thankful, so we planted our pins, and that is basically it. Okay, let's have a look at what we did. If you go back in history and watch some of the earlier videos, you know that we discussed fences a lot. And one of the things that Lynn doesn't like are these fences that essentially are just a ladder, like our neighbors. So we put in a vertical fencing with just angle bar, and quite happy with it. Now, we have still some finishing to do on this property, but as of now, that's it for this year. And as a matter of fact, we did a lot more than we were expecting. The budget was only supposed to be 1 million pesos, and we did cruise over that. Now, we were pretty darn close in some respects, but we just felt that, you know, getting certain things done, like the soffits and the ceiling, probably prudent to get that done this year. Okay, so as we go down, we had some spare angle iron left over and some sheeting, so we had to make up a very crude gate for the fence driveway opening, and the main reason for that is to stop the goats from coming on from the neighbors, who, you know, all of the cows and the goats in the neighborhood, these are people that actually have houses and they just go tie them up in various parts of the barangay, and that's how they get their animals fed. Lynn has showed up, and she's going like this to me now because the food the food of this whole get-together is probably more important to them than the blessing. It's probably more important to them than Ma's birthday. It's all about rice is life and get it into the tummy.
Yeah.
Lynn, I'll just finish up the complete walkthrough, and Lynn needs to get some food because, you know, Lynn's clock works exactly on, I need to eat now, I need to snack now, I need to eat now, I need to snack now. And if she doesn't get it, as I found out when we were hiking in Malaysia, she doesn't get it, she gets grumpy. Okay, let's turn this camera around. We still have one banana still growing, so that's good. We need to get Tai Rebecca out here again and get some of this stuff all pulled down. We've asked the local pastor that Tai Rebecca uses and get him to, or had him talk to Tai about having a regular come at this, you know, maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks to keep things down, because if you get to his age, you'll be happy that you get some work. Okay, and we pay him full wage here, guys. A couple of dwarf coconuts were put in, and now the longer term plan is right here. We're going to put in 2 units with a shared washroom and a covered deck. That is going to go in right here with the anticipation of maybe adding 4 to 6 altogether in there. The house long-term plan, which turned out to be like right away, which was fine with Lynn and I. That's fine. If everybody wants to move forward, then we move forward. The house is designed for sort of an exclusive stay, where the house would then be, you know, you have your own ensuite, etc., and then the dirty kitchen outside would be shared by all, but a little bit more exclusive area there. Ma's put in a fish pond here. Eventually that will all be dressed and kind of make it look a little bit better. The netting and everything there is temporary, guys. It just had to go up right away. We've got some oregano planted along the edge of the fence here, and you know, I'm not too worried about some of this stuff. Yeah, there needs to be some raking up, but you know, things just kind of take care of themselves as you know, plants. They're just constantly growing. So I'm not sure what type of plants these are. This is all Ma's stuff. She just added it recently, and so you can see here the alabati is just taken over big time here. Not sure what this is here. I thought it was a weed, but apparently it's a edible plant. And again, more oregano, and look at the moringa. Ma's gonna cycle the fish pond tomorrow, so she's got extra water there, a full 1,000 liters. And she added a rooster pen here when she's going to produce eggs. So she'll introduce the hens in there and the rooster, and then that's how she'll get the eggs. She's added another roof here, and that's fine, of course. And that will fill this tote. Everybody's getting ready for the food side of the blessing. More trees have been planted over here, and we have received a whole bunch of bamboo. This is just this short stuff, guys. It's maybe 6 to 8, maybe 10 feet tall. That's all this stuff down here. So that's going to be planted as a privacy where I just was a second ago, because that's the only part that sort of sees through where you're living. That will be added in that area. And then as they get shoots, they're going to dress the rest of the way down the property here, again, for more privacy. So some of the stuff is still here, the guys staging and such, and we will get a couple of our crew members back that live local here to just now start tidying the area up again. What we did was, because this barangay, even the DNR said they're not allowed to do that. They're supposed to have gutters on that building, all government buildings. And anyway, so we put in a catch for all of the rainwater that comes off. And as you can see, it's been working wonderfully. That is dry, dry, dry. And when you consider that tote just had 1,000 liters put in it, that's nice to see. That means that we're shunting most of the water off before it has a chance to compact and compress down in here. We had to add this crude gate. It flips up, guys. But we were actually getting people. The shoreline, yes, is open to the public, of course. That's without question. But the pin is down there. We're lucky that's where the high water mark is. They elevate those pins based on the high water. So they came through in June and marked out where the high water was, and that's where it is. So it's below our property, which is nice. That means from here back to the house is hours. That is part of the survey. And we're lucky because the other pin goes from here at an angle out to the ocean. So it only takes in about 2 feet of the front of the property here. We got permission from the DNR. When we were doing the wall, we told them that we were going to take the fresh water off the house, excess, and dump it here. I would still like to get maybe a couple of more, what do you call them, septic tanks. because these septic tanks are a lot lower profile and 1,000 liters is shorter than our totes. And so that's been kind of the goal here, maybe to get a couple more so that we can grab that water. Ma hasn't experienced the whole summer here, so she's not sure whether she's going to have to use city water for the plants and such. Our goal has always been to harvest the water as much as we can. So for this next year, she's going to map out the periods where she doesn't have enough, or maybe she does get enough. We will have to wait and see. As you can see, they're getting ready for the food side of this get together. And also it's Ma's birthday, turned 74 today. Now, to explain the stairs here, guys, what happened was, I don't know how it happened, because I drew the lines and everything. They made that side bigger than this side. So we didn't bother finishing this. They're going to have to make this side a little bit bigger and correct up that arc. But again, not this year. The front deck, I will do the tiling myself next year likely, because I do not like how they do the tiling here, and so I am going to resolve the problem. What I came to realize is after I put a level on it all the way down here, it does exactly what I asked them to do, and that is have a slight slope away from the house, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. So we won't be doing that thick fill BS that they have a habit of doing here, because you just can't get through to them. That's not how you do tiling with adhesive. You want to do it with concrete, then yeah, you got to do it thick and you got to do it that way to get the bigger adhesion. But adhesive is designed to do what it is supposed to do, and that is adhere. Okay, now you've got to wet the concrete, you've got to wet the tiles, that's all standard. Remember again, guys, we're not going to finish this year. We shifted labor, etc. off of there to, you know, shift some of that money and energy and such into putting the soffits in. Now I haven't received the vents yet.
Hello.
Oh, JP's being a pain in the backside. So we haven't received those yet, and so I don't want to get involved with that because these are all going to be solar. And the last two sets that they sent, there's no way that that is going to run at night, and I want ones that are going to run at night. So there we go. And if we can't resolve it in this next order, oh yeah, and this wall won't get done. If I can't resolve it in the next order, then I'm going to bring some from Canada. Well, I think it's fitting that I end this video with what we started last year, which was the garage. And that experiment with the AAC was well worth the time and the effort that we went through. It did force Lynn and I to do some construction homework when we were back in Canada and get some confirmation on, you know, things like the consistency with the adhesive and doing the finishing layers. And so that was very fruitful. It was good that we had that time off. But as I mentioned earlier, I couldn't be happier with how things are going. The family has now accelerated what they would like to do here, and so I couldn't be happier about this. You know, it was always part of the plan, guys. I just thought we would have it for a couple of years before things kicked in, especially, you know, kind of waiting for children to get a little bit older, but they're ready to get started now, so yeehaw. We still have the agrarian property that we may still build on next year, and we're still looking at this staycation. You know, a combination of an apartment and whatever's not rented, make it available for the weekend for people who might come up. There's a lot of motorcycles that make weekend tours through the entire province. It's what they do for vacation stuff here, get away from the city. Well, guys, I really appreciate you guys all watching and enjoying our videos here. It wasn't a big build, it wasn't a long build. One thing that Lynn and I firmly believe, that whatever we build next is going to be monstrously smaller. We just really enjoy being outside so much that really all we need is a place to be during storms, a place to sleep, and have a dirty kitchen, and that's about it. So there we go, guys. I really appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for all of the other This Old Carcass videos. And thanks again. Later, Gators.